Hello there, this is going to be a quick pick a card for you today, and this is going to be on what your inner child is asking for, what your childhood self would like for you to do for yourself as an adult now. Anything that, if you have like a childhood wound and this seems to resonate for you, maybe it's something that you can help heal here. So let's see, what does your inner child want you to work on or heal? This is a message from your inner child. What does your inner child want you to know? And it's a pick a card. So there is 3 cards. There is card number 1, which is speak to yourself with kindness and become aware of how you speak to yourself. We have card number 2, choose yourself today and do not deny your importance. We have pick a card number 3, it's okay to be misunderstood. Perception is not always based on the truth. So take a deep breath. Inhale in. Exhale out all the craziness. It's Friday, so not that it means anything. I have to work tomorrow still. But I don't know if you do. I don't know if you have the weekend. You're starting your weekend here. Getting ready to relax. I know, that's what I like to do, is relax. A lot of relaxing when I'm not working and doing this. This is my relaxation. But yeah, focus in, screenshot this or whatever you must do to see which one is calling you out more. Is it number 1? Card number 1, speak to yourself with kindness. Card number 2, choose yourself today. Card number 3, it's okay to be misunderstood. And for some, we'll go ahead and pull tarot if there is more messages that need to be, if we want to get more info. So let's see what it says. This is my 3rd time trying to record this video and it keeps saying storage full, so I deleted some stuff and I hope I don't have to redo this again. So let's call in the good jujus here so we can get this done and posted for you. So let's see, if you chose pick a card 1, it says speak to yourself with kindness and become aware of how you speak to yourself. So there is a sense here that your inner child, maybe when you were a child, there could have been verbal abuse, emotional abuse, and you didn't know any other form of being. Maybe is always, just kicking yourself in the butt and having these high standards for yourself. And until now, maybe at the time now, you are being not kind to yourself. Maybe there is still a sense like, I could do better, I can do better, or you should be doing better. But what your inner child is here asking you is to go ahead and sit back and reflect and see how you are talking to yourself. It's not easy to see how we are to ourselves until we really sit there and kind of like sit back and reflect, because we're just so on autopilot, right? So there could be a sense here of the stories that you tell yourself can create the patterns by which you live. So maybe there is a sense of just kind of, I don't know if being negative, talking to yourself, or just, kind of saying to yourself, I could have done this different, or I could have done this better. I think we all have that. I know I always seem to do that. Or even when I'm re-listening to the videos, it's like, I should have said this, or why was I stuttering, or why was I saying that word, and but we are who we are, and we need to be kinder to ourselves. And I feel like we're not perfect, but each one of us is unique in every single different way and form, and we need to accept ourselves how we are. And yeah, that is and love ourselves for what we are, because there's not another copy of us. There's only one of us. And that's what makes us unique. So in our daily lives, the words that we choose to speak over ourselves can deeply influence how we think and act. We are often unaware of just how critical our self-talk can be, or how often we engage in it. If you have pulled this card, then it may have be time to review your self-talk. So maybe a little exercise that you can do is, if you feel like you are in a negative of self-talk, maybe you can practice on focusing on becoming aware of your negative self-talk as it occurs. So maybe during this exercise, it's ask yourself, am I speaking to myself with love right now? When are you reviewing your self-talk? I can be helpful to use an object, such as a piece of jewelry, as a physical reminder to speak to yourself kindly. An object of high value can be even more beneficial, particularly if your negative self-talk focuses on the idea of lack or personal worth. If you can, choose an item of value of importance for this existence, and know and say to yourself that you are worthy. I know sometimes I carry crystals with me, and I feel like that helps. I just put them in my pocket. They don't have to be big, or sometimes I'll put it in my bra, and I feel like that just helps. And it's just every time I feel it or get in my pocket, it reminds me of what I need to do. I even wear, like, my bracelet, and it reminds me, like, always think abundance, yellow. And then my birthstone of sapphire is like truth, truth and abundance will get me somewhere. So it's always a reminder. And maybe by you wearing something that will remind you of kindness, of being kinder to yourself, or anything that will remind you to talk to yourself more in a positive way, would help a lot. Or maybe even in the mornings. I know I do this in the mornings too, as I'm drinking my coffee. Is set yourself a tone for the day. And tell yourself, today I'm gonna have a great day. Today my day is gonna come in perfect. Everybody's gonna be kind. Today, if people are not in a good mood, I am gonna ignore them and just do my job. I know what I always tell myself, because I have a beauty business, so it's like one-on-one interaction with each one of my clients. So I always say, my affirmation is, I give beauty services. I make people beautiful for a beautiful pay. And I also say, no client that is meant for me will not pass me by. A client that is meant for me will not pass me by. So those are affirmations that I'm always telling myself. And believe it or not, it changes your mindset. Instead of like oh, am I not going to have a busy day today? And believe it or not, it just sets a happier tone. And for you, it can be different because, I mean, you have a different kind of work, and kind of letting yourself or talking to yourself and saying, you know what, today, I'm not going to let you get to me today. I'm going to have a good day. I'm going to think of a good song, and I'm just going to not let you bother me, and I'm going to be kind to myself. And that is a form of being kind to yourself, because you're not sabotaging, you're not being mentally negative to yourself, and kind of like punishing yourself. Maybe there was a sense of punishment when you were a child here, like if you didn't do things right or what our parents wanted, or, you know, we would always get in trouble, like, no, you didn't do it right, you got to do it this way. I know as that's our culture too, you know, like, you could have done it better. But your inner child wants you to know that, you know, we did what we could when we were kids, and now is the time to be kind to yourself, and not talk to yourself the way that you did before, or not feel like you weren't enough, or that you didn't do enough, or that you have to keep talking down on yourself. So yeah, your inner child just want you to know, to become aware of how you are talking to yourself, how you are being to yourself. Any messages for pick a pile number 1? Yes, and once you start talking to yourself more, you'll have all the tools. You do already have all the tools that you need in order to become what you're wanting to become. Let all the burdens go already. They're already on their way out. Let all the burdens and those childhood memories out, or even the childhood memory that you have of yourself. Sit there and talk to that child that needed you at that moment, and go back in time and let that child of when you were that age, let them know that you are sorry, that you are here, and you are here to help and heal and be a better person to that inner child that needed you when you were a child. And that can do miracles. Taking a leap of faith, you know, making the choice to be able to take that leap of faith and do the work that you need to do for that inner child that needs you. There's completions here that have to do with endings, with being self-sabotaged and feeling burdened, and even maybe to the point that you feel backstabbed by somebody. But in this card, I see you have to have like an ancestor or guardian angel here. You see that the little globe right here? For some, you could have like a butterfly tattoo. You could like gold. There could be, you could have Leo traits or Leo placements in your chart. You could be a Leo. It doesn't have to, you don't have to be. But there is a sense here of, once you complete that cycle and let that cycle die and start the new journey, you'll be able to seek out more of your passions. Be more passionate about life, and be passionate about yourself, and be passionate about how you talk to yourself. That is what I have for you if you picked a card number 1. Now we're going to go ahead and go to card number 2. Pick a card 2, and let's see if what that card is telling us. And for that card, we have choose yourself today. Do not deny the importance of yourself. So maybe with this card, I feel like there was, you are focused on something when you were little. And I don't know, but I just see like a man yelling here. I see a woman here, but then she also looks like a vase. There, I see a duck here, and I don't know if you want to screenshot this, but there is somebody like looking over like the wall and just kind of like with the hand on their hip, kind of like asking you to do something. You are focused on something that you were disappointed in. There is a door. I see like a door right here. So I think after that disappointment that you went through, maybe you just sat alone in your room a lot and kind of just focused in on not asking for anything anymore. And even though you have these wings here that you can fly and fulfill your desires and be this fantasy fairy and create this whole world, or maybe when you were the kind of child too, where you can just create a whole fantasy in your room and you liked being alone. I know I loved being alone. I grew up with nothing but boys and I was the youngest one, so I had to create like a whole I'm very good at being alone. Like I every time I would go outside or do something, my older brothers, they it's like a party, you know, or they're like, you can't be over here, you're a girl, you go to your room. But I felt like, you know, I was kind of just raised by myself, so I created, like, always had this kind of, I don't know, not fantasy, but fantasy kind of like I could entertain myself. I had to learn how to entertain myself, and that's what the feeling that comes here when I see this, that maybe after a disappointment you just kind of were focused on just entertaining yourself, your own mind, even creating little stories in your head. But it was after this disappointment. There was maybe a promise that was not granted here. And after that, you just kind of lost faith. You lost faith for everything. You kind of went within, and that you just focused on that one problem that you had. Maybe when you were younger, you were a sensitive child as well too. And when any promise was broken, there was a desire that you were disregarded, or a desire was disregarded, or lost. You lost all hope for everything. And it could have had to do with the mother. I don't know if you lost your mother when you were little, or just healing that wound with your mother. Or maybe there was an absent mother that somebody else needed her full attention, that you feel like maybe she didn't pay attention to you when you were little, and you were kind of there to entertain yourself. Kind of an absent mom, absent parents. So you need to know that you need to choose yourself today, and do not deny how important you are. Don't deny the importance that you are here to become today, for yourself, for you. And it's time to accept what happened in the past, and maybe it's time for you to go back to your inner to that child that is calling you, that you always go back to, and talk to him or her and let them know that you are sorry, or for whatever, but whatever the situation is, and that you are here from now on for that inner child. You are here to fulfill those promises. You are here to fulfill those desires that your inner child needed when you were a kid. And you are here for that child of yours. Maybe for you, you need to write things down. And maybe when you are writing things down, it's writing them down maybe in a piece of paper, and try this exercise. Write them down, positive things that you want to do for yourself, and put them in a little glass bowl. And every time you are feeling like you haven't done something for yourself, maybe you can pick up one of those things, one of those little notes that you have wrote to your inner child, and open it up. And maybe that's something that you should be doing for the weekend, or for the week, or for the day, when you're feeling like your inner child is getting in, you know, that the memories of that inner child is coming to you. Maybe that is a time to pick up a paper, one of those little positive affirmations, and say that to yourself. And if it's in actions that you needed, go and do the self-pampering that you need to do. Making yourself feel important. Don't ever forget how beautiful you are. Don't ever forget how amazing you are. Don't ever forget how you can create the world that you want to create. You are here to shine in there, not to look out, looking in. You have this whole world in your hands, and you're just sitting there staring at it. And it's time for you to take action. Your inner child is asking you to make things happen. You can fly. You have wings here. Yeah. Anything that wants to come out for pick file number 2. I hope it doesn't stop recording, because this is like the 3rd time I've been recording the same video, and it dies on me. Messages that need to come out. Any messages for pick a card in number 2? Yes. You need to have hope, and you need to see yourself like a star. You need to stand up for certain things that are going on in your life, maybe, and you need to speak up for them, and you need to speak up for this inner child that needs you to heal her, for you to become who you need to become here. There was a lot of wishful thinking there, but you have hope. You have good luck here. You are this star that people see you as, like that you're so far away, but you shine so bright. Maybe for some of you, there is a sense here of maybe you always being so distant from other people, and people see you that way. People see you like you are like this bright and shiny star, but you are so far away because you're so detached, because maybe something to do with your inner child does not let you get close to people. You tell me if that is what is going on with you. But with the Knight of Wands here, your passion is going to come in once you learn how to stand up for yourself, and stand up for this little girl, this little boy that needs you to go back in there in time and fix her and heal her. And you're going to see how much the sun shines on you, how much attention you get. And it doesn't have to be attention, but just how happy you are, how much you radiate, how much vitality and how much glowing you're going to be after you are working on yourself and giving that importance to yourself. So don't you ever forget how important you are, and how much you can. Don't ever deny how important you are, and how you need to choose yourself every day over and over again. And it's not selfish. So that is if you picked a card number 2. So now we're going to go with pick a card number 3. And this one, it says, it's okay to be misunderstood. Perception is not always based on the truth. So I can so relate. I can so relate to all of them. I feel like even me as a child, I was misunderstood a lot. But I think we can all relate to this card, right? Like there was a time and age and moment where we were so misunderstood, and you learn to, maybe for some of us, we just learned to not care what people think. Maybe we became that bigger rebel, you know, like you don't understand me anyway, so why should I even listen to you? Or why should I even spend the time to talk to you or tell you anything, because you don't understand me anyway? And for some of you, you could be so stuck on the perception of where other people see you. And you need to know that to be misunderstood is to be human. We all get misunderstood. And see how it relates to all of us. It's okay to be misunderstood, because we're not all the same people. We're all different. We each have a story of when our words and actions were perceived in the wrong way or manner. So every one of us is experiencing life through our own personal lens of fears, desires, and beliefs and pains, which often lead to miscommunication, misunderstandings. And it can feel like overwhelming, right? And when this occurs, we drive ourselves in our senses, and we drive ourselves crazy, right? We derive our senses and our safety from those around us being able to understand how we see the world. It's like a shutdown. We shut down, right? Maybe for some of you, you are feeling like that. Like you just want to shut down because nobody is understanding you anyways. Or you feel like you get misunderstood. And maybe what you need to accept in order to heal your inner child. And even if it was then, that takes you back in time when you were misunderstood, or you said something, and then from there, that word, that thing that you said, that comment that you made, it haunts you. You need to go back in time for that inner child. That inner child at that time and age and time is asking you to go back in that time and moment. And it's time to talk to him or her in a better way, and listen to her and fill her out, and let her know that you do understand her. Let him know that you do understand him. So if you currently feel misunderstood, take some time today and practice inner safety with yourself. Maybe for some of you, it's a time to go and just take a rest from everybody, if this is going on with you now. And maybe place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly, and take a deep breath and speak words of safety over yourself now. And tell yourself that you are safe and that you are known, and that everything will be okay in the end. Ask yourself if there are any affirmations or actions you can take that would help your inner child feel safe now. So there has a lot to do with the safety. Maybe at some point of time you didn't feel safe. You didn't feel safe around somebody. There is chaos here. Look at how there's nothing but fireworks and smoke. Some of you could have gone through a fire, lost somebody in a fire. Maybe it happened on 4th of July. where this childhood memory takes you back. For others of you, it could have happened in a lake. But there's a swan here. Maybe that's you floating on there. Yeah. Let yourself know that everything will be okay. Go back to that inner child and let them know that everything's going to be okay. And bring that child, go back in time and bring that child back into safety. And remember that there are some things we might never be able to fully communicate to one another. And that is okay. Not everybody is meant to get us. And know that the goal that this is a practice not to make others understand, but to realize that their misunderstandings of you is only a reflection of your worth. You are complete regardless of how others perceive you. And it's time for you to know that not everybody is here to understand you, or you don't need to be explaining yourself to everybody. If you feel like they are misunderstanding you, you don't have to sit there and explain every single thing to anybody. Because a lot of the times you'll realize that they are not even focused on anything on the most things that you are focused on, especially if it's something little. Like they don't mind, they don't even care, because you know they're focused on their own issues. When we narrated like this big story in our head that you have to make things right or fix things with somebody, you know, just take it for what it is and move on. And unless they bring it up, then you can, you know, say, hey, you know, I'm sorry, this is not the way, whatever, you know, communicate. And that's pretty much it. But not everybody will always understand us, and we won't ever understand everybody either. There's some people that we just get, and there's some people that just don't get us and will never get us. And usually that's our family, and that's why we have to be, you know what, we need to like choose our own battles, right? So go back to that inner child that needs your safety, needs you to go back and save her or him back into safety, and let them know that they are safe now, that it's okay. It's okay for them to say what they need to say. For some of you, after that misunderstanding that you had with somebody, you didn't want to say anything anymore. Like you lost your whole spark, or even your personality, kind of like you were so afraid to say anything, and you were so burdened by it. But there is hope here, just like card number 2. There is hope. There is a lot of healing here that needs to happen. And there will be a lot of healing here. There is maybe you've been praying and wishing on a star that things will be better, or that you wouldn't be that you would be understood for once now. For some of you, it's always been like an ongoing thing with you. Like you feel like people misunderstand you, but maybe it's because you try to explain too much to somebody, and you don't need to do all that explaining to another person. And especially when it comes to anybody that is in your childhood, somebody that has to do with your childhood, that childhood memory, it keeps coming back to you, and you feel like you keep making the same mistakes for people to misjudge you. And it's time to go back and let the little girl, the little boy know that, you know what, today you let that little girl and those memories go, because you are ready to move on, and you don't care if people understand you or not understand you. You are trying to do the best that you can, and as long as you're not acting with ill intent, then you should be fine. You're doing it for the best of you and others. And for some reason, I just get the feeling here that you try to over explain yourself, that it makes it worse. And maybe sometimes saying less is best, and let people think what they want to think, especially those ones that are just so that person in your childhood that is just not ever going to change their mind, and is always going to be have you misunderstood. And I feel like it has to do with one person. I don't know if it's a mother, a father. Yeah. And once you start healing that inner child, you go back and talk to that inner child, that child that needs you to go back and rescue her or him. You will see how emotional fulfilled you are. You will be able to take a lead of your own life. You'll see things in a different perspective, and you'll let things just, whatever that is meant to crumble down relationship wise, will go ahead and fall down, and you're gonna let it be and seek balance for yourself. That is what I'm picking up for you. If you picked the pile number 3, you let me know if it resonates for you, and I hope to hear something, anything that you connected with this reading. I wish you nothing but the best, and until next pick a card. Thank you so much. Bye.